in chapter 5 is about trapezoids. So obviously trapezoids are different. We're going to learn a couple new theorems of trapezoids. The definition of just a trapezoid is the fact that it's a quadrilateral, but only one pair of parallel sides, and those two are called the bases, the parallel sides are. The other two sides are called the legs, similar to like triangle terms. The base angles of an isosceles triangle are congruent, just an isosceles triangle. So the angles that are connected to both bases are congruent, and the angles at the bottom are congruent. The relationship between these two is obviously same side interior, and therefore they are supplementary. The median of a trapezoid is parallel also to the bases, and it has equal lengths that is average to the base lengths. Meaning that if I add 6 plus 10 and divide it by 2, that's going to give me 8 as the median. This parallel line also, as the median, bisects the two sides or the two legs of the trapezoid. So it's parallel, but it also bisects, making this segment and this segment congruent, as well as this segment and this segment congruent. Take a second, hit pause, and solve for x. When you solve for x, you should have got 3x minus 7 divided by 2 equals 10. And then when you solve for x, x should equal 9. Take a second now, and on your worksheet, hit pause and answer questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. And finally, today we're just going to work on drawing and trying to think of counterexamples for the following 5 descriptions. Can you draw a trapezoid with 2 right angles? If not, explain why. Can you draw a trapezoid with 2 congruent bases? If not, explain why. Can you draw a trapezoid with both bases shorter than the legs? If not, explain why. Can a trapezoid have 3 acute angles? And finally, can you draw a trapezoid with exactly 3 congruent sides and 2 pairs of congruent angles? Take a second and try to draw those now. Here's what you should have come up with for the 5 trapezoids. A trapezoid with 2 right angles would just be a right trapezoid. These angles over here would be supplementary but not congruent. Number 2 is not possible because if you have a quadrilateral with 2 congruent bases, the only way that you would be able to get the other legs to connect is to make them congruent. No matter how you drew it, the opposite sides would have to be congruent as well. A trapezoid with both bases shorter than the legs would look like basically a stretched out trapezoid from top to bottom. A trapezoid with 3 acute angles is not possible only because we know that same side supplementary angles would either have 2 90 degrees or 1 acute and 1 obtuse to make them supplementary. And finally, the trapezoid with exactly 3 congruent sides and 2 pairs of congruent angles will be held off for, and you can show your drawings if you came up with anything in class tomorrow. Finish the rest of the worksheet for homework.